update, it could be that they might not be able to accept it. Burroughs is the same way.
Did they have one in each truck, do they, or?
They've got 4 radios. I think they've, you know, got, I'm not even sure how many active guys they got on their department anymore, it varies, cause, Rockfield has guys that volunteer on Camden, Burroughs, and Rockfield. So it's same as Cutler. Cutler has some that.
When we come to the place, no one wants to volunteer, no more, we have to go to a full force fire department.
Well, I wasn't gonna bring that up. You're probably looking 10, 15 years down the road. The volunteer
I've been
fire
thinking about
department.
that a lot this last week, is that that's coming.
It is.
I remember when we had all VAS, volunteer ambulance services, and all of a sudden you couldn't get enough people to keep those things going, so the county had to take it over. And I'm just seeing that that's a coming thing that we're gonna have to do.
Well, there's not as much industry in the county anymore.
What's that?
There's not as much industry in the county as back in the day, and the employers don't let the people go off work like they used to. You know, people work outside of the county, so. And volunteerism is not like it was years ago, people don't do it. There are some still, I mean, there's a few young guys, if you're out on a fire scene, you'll see some young guys out there, but it's not like it used to be.
Everybody's worried about the almighty dollar. What can I get? Society's changed.
You can only push somebody into volunteerism so many times and so long.
And it's just not that, the training requirements that they're requiring on the volunteer fire departments now. To be a volunteer firefighter, it's now taking 6 to 8 months of training. You know, so you're working a full-time job, you have a family, 9 months of training, 6 to 8 months of training just to be able to work a structure fire.
Back when I got on, I did a 40-hour class, and I did it in 3 weeks. And then I was certified to run everything.
Right. It's not like that anymore. You gotta,
They always told you to put that cold stuff or the wet stuff on the hot stuff. That was basically your training.
no, it's not like that anymore.
I knew when I was on the Burlington, part of the problem was you had 30 people in the department and you had about 15 showed up. And it was the same ones all the time.
Sure.
Yeah, for most of the times.
I know, clear back when Pat Lawson was commissioner, he used to say about how hard it was sometimes to get a crew in here in Delphi to go fight a fire.
Yeah, that's why when you tell them to go off, there should be notes in there that, hey, during this time of the day, tell them this department out too, because they'll have volunteers show up.
We already have that.
Yeah.
They already have auto aid and dual tones and.
Yeah.
Is it, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead, Mike.
Is there any movement on the state level to allow funding for, rural counties to have paid fire departments?
As far as I know, there's not any discussion yet. I've got some meetings in Indianapolis the next few weeks. I'll see what I can find out. But probably not.
Well, you know, we don't have the budget to do that. I mean, it'd be very expensive.
Oh,
You know,
it's
but
not
I was
cheap.
sitting on the council when we took over volunteer ambulance service everywhere, and we were very worried about where we're gonna get the money to do this, and yet we knew we had to have ambulances, so. I guess we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
I didn't know if you guys are aware, we had an incident with a fire chief. And, they, come in and inappropriately made some name callings and stuff to our lead dispatch. And, that township took care of that problem, it's no longer the chief of that department.
Good, glad it did. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Anything else to come up?
I do.
Okay?
Wind farms and solar farms, Ted,
Yes.
does our ordinance cover us on all this?
I don't know.
Is that something you could look into, please?
Is there,
I hadn't even had a chance to read the ordinance on it, but
yeah, sure.
I know they're pushing, what'd you say, the southern part of the county?
I can hear rumors.
Yeah, and I've been hearing stuff. about
Wind
Wind and solar farms.
and solar.
We have something for the wind farms here still.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a function of the, you know, it's plan commission, so I don't know if they've been working on it or not. And we might put the executive director on the agenda for the next meeting. I mean, I can check into it.
Jake, what is all that, solar stuff that's being done, not very far outside the county, you know, it's, south of Sedalia?
1,400 acres.
1,400?
Called Hardy Ridge or Hardy Hills.
Yeah.
It's huge.
So I just happened to be driving down through there, and oh my gosh, look at this, it's just everywhere.
Yeah, they have 6,000 acres in Glass County, so it's close and it's closing in. I don't wanna sound like it's a negative thing, I think it needs to be vetted out, but, there is a considerable amount of land under option in Carroll County. Not for a specific project, but, for transition into renewables, so it's just a matter of how much and then the regulatory piece of it and how that transition happens, so, we've been having conversations with all those players, just to figure out where their next investment's gonna be and where, you know, what it's gonna look like, so.
So who's doing that?
The Heritage Hill, yeah, I'm not exactly sure who's doing that specific project, I think they've sold already,
So
so.
it's not like Duke Energy or something like that, huh?
So some of them are including the larger utilities in the purchase power agreement for wholesale. So if Duke is selling power, renewable energy credits from their transmission lines to private corporations, they're gonna have a requirement of a generation input from renewables. So all the larger utilities are planning to transition to renewable generation. NIPSCO being one of them that wants to revert to 100% renewable generation by 2030, don't quote me on that, but, so there's a path for all of these private utilities, to figure out how they're gonna provide renewable energy and renewable energy credits to companies that are demanding it. So, and that we thought would slow down, I thought genuinely would slow down, but it's actually picked up pace. So these companies that are located in places want renewable energy credits, they want their power to be generated, by renewable energy, and so, there's still a big race for providing those inputs in Indiana at least, so.
They're building a substation
Out there in Sedalia area?
and, you're talking about, it's Union Township, Clinton County, Ray County.
Gilmore,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I think that I don't want landowners not to be able to use their land as they want, but we need to make sure we got our ducks in a row. So I don't think I want a windmill next to me, because my theory is those windmills in White County has messed up our weather system here in Carroll County, because every time a storm comes through, it goes around us.
You look on radars, I remember when the side channel, when the channel 18 years ago, there's always, like there was always, we always get rain here, it affects the radar. So, I think there's to add something to it. So that it affects something.
Drainage, farm drainage is the big one that I'm hearing on the solar. And, Clinton County surveyor, they have some kind of regulations, so they're out there all the time making sure they reconnect tiles.
Yeah, when they see it break the tile.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think the litmus test really would be through area plan and what's currently part of the regulatory ordinance for these renewables. And then letting the area plan, my opinion or recommendation to you all would be that we let the area plan commission, because they are a cross-section of the community, really kind of hash out what the renewable energy path looks like moving forward. I would recommend even redoing or rediscussing with area plan what renewable energy looks like in Carroll County. If it is something that we're accepting to, then what? What do the setbacks look like? How tall? What, all the regulatory, because I think what we're seeing is a lot of public policy has been changing locally on, benefiting or at least encouraging renewable investment, but it's at least in compliance with what the community is looking for. How tall, how big, how wide, how everything. So I think our current ordinance allows for renewable energy, but it may not fit, what the current standard is for today on what they're building. So, that would be that's my understanding of what we currently have. We allow it, it's just a matter of, it doesn't fit the standards in which they're building now for setbacks and height. And so does the area plan have an appetite to change those, or at least recommend changes to, the Board of Commissioners to allow renewable and energy investments? So, there's positives and negatives in all of it.
It's like all those ones they're doing right now in White County, they're changing can't remember, the blades and the heads of them where they produce more energy, but those blades, they just bury them, there's no way to recycle them, or there's some kind of, I watched it on TV, they just dig a big hole, throw them in there and cover them up.
And not not all of those companies are created equal. So I think that's what we've been born over the last 15, 20 years, is that, they're not all the same. And so if there is a project or a potential investment in our community, which has its advantages, I think that the question would be that who it is and what, what their long-term approach is for the benefits of the community, and not just, like quick, fast, in a hurry. So that would be something that I've kind of been in those discussions for the last 2.5 years of wading through what I'm seeing in Benton, Warren counties, on the renewable side, and then Clinton County with their solar project. So it's all around us. There are some good companies that are making the right investments, and they're taking care of the communities they're investing in. So.
Thanks, Pete.
1,400 acres. How much power does that produce? How do you figure that out?
What's the life of a solar, 10 years? The more inefficient each day. You got all, it's made of, be disposed of every time. I did hear where the blades, the fiberglass, they are draining some of them, the fiberglass, not very fortunate.
Huh.
I've heard that.
Well, of course, if they come in with solar, that ground's all used up. Where if they got those big windmills, yeah, they still farm. But I mean, it takes up a footprint of that windmill and it roads to it and all that.
Yeah, it's great if you got 8 or 10 of them on your land, but you live right down the road across from somebody's property, and you have to look at those things.
Oh,
You know,
the view of them is terrible, I think.
Yeah, but somebody's making a bunch of money and somebody's making their money. So, yeah, I think the motion's on it. Go after the money, that you could, if they put a landfill in, put a wind farm in, and a solar farm, that's where the money is.
Yeah.
So, pick and choose.
Okay, anything else to come before the commissioners?
You got any updates, Tony? Tony?
Sorry.
Jail count today? Do you know?
I didn't make it in today. We were at like 47 last week.
How many out, do you know?
3.
Still in White County? For now? B-Dub, you guys are all good? You guys are all good? Motion to adjourn?
All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you all for attending. We appreciate it.